How you doing today?
Okay. Fang never came home, so I've been pretty
Oh,
bummed about him.
oh no. Darn it.
So I know. So I put up posters. Put out on
Yeah,
social media, and
yeah.
there's a lot of black and white cats in the neighborhood. So people would send in videos from their cameras, and wouldn't be the right cat,
Mm-hmm.
and so. But he was last seen. So you guys saw him Monday
Yeah.
afternoon. So he went out that night. So he was um, on a neighbor's ring camera at 3:30 in the morning, and then that's the last we had any sighting of him, other
Hmm.
than random people saying he was here and there. So,
Yeah.
but we've got bobcats and mountain lions and bears and owls and hawks and all kinds of
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah.
Um, but and I didn't see any vultures flying around or anything. So
Hmm.
um, anyway, it's sad, and um, if I talk about it too much, I cry. So
Yeah. Well,
that's just how it is. But he was my little buddy for over 2 years, and so anyway, Mom still has her cat, so we aren't catless, but. Um,
yeah.
and so I've just been busy gardening and going to Lowe's and different things.
Yeah.
So I'm replacing the blinds in my room, and I'm repairing this little bunny. Um,
Oh.
One of my mom's friends brought her a frog, just a little ceramic frog figurine, because frogs are big in Calaveras County.
Oh.
And so I thought, well, they come over every week for prayer time and stuff and dinner with mom and some other friends. So I thought, well, for birthdays or every holiday, I'll dress it up in a different outfit. And so I took apart this
Oh.
bunny one time and put the bunny costume on the rabbit for Easter. I mean on the frog. So, but it's time for that to go away, and now I have to repair the bunny. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm going to do this morning. And then I have on the wall behind, on the door behind, I have an Easter egg wreath that I'm working on, from Easter eggs from the 70s through, I don't know, past couple of years, that Dave and Mom and I worked on over the
Oh.
years. And they're so fragile. I used to do Easter egg trees and stuff, and I thought, okay, now I'll condense it down to a wreath, and it'll just make it easy. So
That's a good idea. Then
anyway,
display it on the wall and it's up out of the way and less likely to get damaged.
smushed. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so
That's
that's it.
You're always
Anyway,
so busy with lots of projects.
oh yeah, I've been working on out in my yard, and um, did I tell you I started Zepbound?
Yeah, yeah. How's that
So,
going? You feeling all
so
right?
well, um, it's weight loss is not coming off rapidly yet, but I'm only on the lowest dose. But then you're also getting used to, okay, if I eat this, it gives me heartburn. If I eat that, it gives me heartburn. So how do I need to eat in order not to get heartburn? And then there's the constipation issue. Those are the two main
So
complaints for
it's
most
it
people.
gives you like, you're more susceptible to heartburn with the drug, or is it some other
Yes,
issue?
yes,
Okay.
because what it does is the drug slows down your digestive system, and um, so because of that, everything is slowed. So digestion is slower. You don't crave food at all. I mean, I could go all day and not eat. I have to
Mm,
force myself to eat. So then, okay, you have to force yourself to eat good stuff, but I still want it to taste good. I don't want artificial
sure.
stuff.
Right.
And so then I've been on Facebook for months and joined Facebook again just to get on a Zepbound group, just to
Support
see what
group.
everybody
Yeah.
else is
Get
doing, and
get
okay, how are
tips.
you solving this issue? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Um, so so there's that going on,
Yeah.
and
It's a whole
but
different thing.
I'm in it for the long haul. So I'm
Yeah.
just so sick of being overweight, and if this will get me through that hump. But just to not have the daily cravings and that mind game of fighting off good
Hi,
morning
Angie.
or
Hi,
afternoon.
Angie. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Julie. What were you saying? I don't mean to.
No. It's just nice for that drug not to give you the craving. I mean, to take away those cravings.
Yeah.
'Cause that's half the battle is
Have that
losing.
help.
If I could just shut that part of my brain off, I
Right.
don't have to worry about food. So.
And then it just takes some other planning as far as like what's going to work for you to eat.
Exactly.
And scheduling eating. Sometimes you have to
Right.
set a
Exactly.
timer or alarm clock or something. Yeah.
So what are you guys working on today?
Yeah.
Hi,
What do you
Kitty.
do? What's up, Angie? Who's with you? Is that Lulu?
Yeah, Lulu.
Lulu. Hello,
Lulu.
Lulu.
I was gonna craft. Let's see. There we go. I was gonna craft, and I will hopefully get up to my craft room, but I just got a call, or I just got a message that one of my packages was messed up. So right
Oh,
now, here again.
gotta take care of that, huh?
Yeah. So I'll do that right now, and then hopefully I'll run up there and work craft a little
Okay.
bit. I just wanted to stop in.
Nice of you to drop in.
Hang on, if I met another crafter that does junk journalings, can I invite her to this, or do you want it to be people you know?
Oh, sure. Yeah, she can come along. Yeah.
I will let her know.
Go ahead and invite her into the Instagram group. I think it's open to
I will
other.
talk. Not this moment. I got to figure this mess out. But
Yeah, let me know if you run into problems with that. But yeah, that'd be great. I love new friends. And I see Julie Daytrip Vintage Co's in the chat to say hello. Hi, Julie. This is going to be interesting for me. I just grabbed I grabbed this junk journal and just a bunch of supplies, and I hope to get inspired to work more in this one, but this one has been a challenge for me. So we'll see what I end up doing in here, but just going to do a little crafting. Julie's working on a bunny that she's repairing. Looks like restuffing. Did it some stuff?
Restuffing and I got to sew up some seams because it had to fit around that frog.
Yeah. Well, how are things there, Angie?
My father was rushed to ER on Sunday. Or no,
gosh.
Friday. We went and visited him Saturday. He's been in the hospital now since then. They're been medically cleared to go home, but physical therapy said he needs 24-hour care. And my husband and I live down here. We live 3 hours away. So they are trying to figure out what to do with them. So he's still sitting in the hospital waiting to find out, what to do with them. So yeah, that was dealing with his nursing homes and phone calls, and that's what I've been doing pretty much.
Oh yeah, I know how that is. That's a lot.
Yes, we do. We know about that.
Yeah. Can go. There's so many like little decisions to be made, little considerations to make, and I am still replaying things through my head and probably will the rest of my life. different placements and I don't know, just crazy. It's something you're not really trained or prepared for in life, and then
No, we are not.
And there it is. There's no right answer either, because there's so many choices to make. There's Bridget. Hi, Bridget.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm at Loki and Bodhi's house, so I have two kind of lazy dogs in the background here.
Nice.
We did a nice long walk this morning and came back, and
well, at least they're not Jack Russells.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Walls.
I don't know if I could handle Jack Russells. These are Bodhi is a chocolate lab, and Loki he's the one, the boss. He is part husky, part border collie. So when he wants to go a certain direction, you have to go that direction. So I ran into that this morning. I was like, oh gosh, I have to just follow where he wants to go. Luckily, though, and I'm looking at him right now as he's sighing because he heard me talking about him. He always wants to go to this creek that is nearby and wants to get in the creek and just lay down in it. And right now he has some kind of like hot spots on his belly, kind of open spots that I don't want to get infected. So it's not a good idea to go into the creek with the stuff that's in it. So I really had to talk him out of it. I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do? Like if he lays down, I'm trying to go one direction, he's trying to go towards the creek. And if I pull him this way and he refuses and just lays down, I'm just going to be stuck here because I can't pick him up. He's like 100 pounds. So. Anyway, luckily, I talked him into going the other way and going home. So that's nice. Good. Hi, Tamara. How are you? Oh, Julie said she's not going to be able to jump on. Jim's coming home early to pick out new glasses. So you're going with. That sounds good. Julie. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Julie says prayers for your father-in-law and family. Is it your father or your father-in-law?
My father-in-law.
Your father-in-law. Okay.
My husband's dad. He's the only one left in the family because I'm the only child.
Oh, okay.
There's no cousins or anybody because he was just by himself. Oh, cool, Tamara. That's awesome.
Oh, good, Tamara. Getting your studio unpacked. That's exciting. How's the weather in Virginia, Tamara? Is it humid, like they tell me it is over there? Bridget, what are you up to this morning?
Like right now or early?
Yeah. Well, anything. Tell us what's going on.
Well, I'm just starting my new junk journal right now.
Oh, nice.
The bear one.
So what you and Maddie end up doing?
Yeah. So many things.
We went to the Sparks game as we talked about. That was the day before. This last stream was the day before that. So I think we said that.
Yeah.
On Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Which was good.
That was a fun game.
Yeah. It was close for a little bit and then it wasn't.
Even though, whatchamacallit, Plum Dog didn't play because she was out injured.
Yeah.
Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, you know your players.
And then she played the next game. I was like, oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But yes, I know a few. I've been paying attention this year a little more than usual because I've been able to go to a couple games with Maddie.
Mm-hmm. And then we went to Universal on Thursday, which was fun. I got us the express passes this time, which I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And it was truly a beautiful experience.
You like that? Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Good.
So, yes.
Probably really needed it since it's summer and everyone's there right now.
Well, yeah, and it was on Juneteenth, so like a lot of people.
People were off.
That's kind of the main reason why I got it, but I also knew regardless it was going to be busy, so.
Right.
It was worth it.
When we went in December, I kind of thought it was not worth it because I felt like the lines weren't all that long anyway. But
Yeah, it's hard to tell if it's going to be worth it or not.
it is hard to tell. Yeah.
You can always get it once you're there too.
Yeah, I need to remember that. Just wait.
Yeah.
Hey, Angie, you know this friend in the chat, right? How do you pronounce that?
Tamara?
Oh, no, I'm seeing another one. Hawaii.
Oh,
Do you know
Yeah.
who that is?
no, I always say it wrong too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Howie? I don't know.
Hawaii?
You have to teach it to me again. He's taught me before and I can't do it. Oh.
So, Bridget, you also went shopping, and what else did you guys do?
Oh yeah, she like kind of forced me to take her shopping on Friday. I was like, since when is she like shopping so much? That's shocking, honestly. I was like, you need to be friends with high school me. Like, I'm not really into shopping anymore.
I feel like for years, you know, she wasn't really buying things, and now she's buying things. She feels a little bit more free to buy things and take things home. That's what my guess is, that now she's kind of in this different phase.
I guess.
But maybe I'll ask her if I remember. Well, I'm so glad that you guys had some fun together.
Yes.
I know she was kind of lonely when she got home. She's like, oh, now I'm back to no people in my
Yeah, she seemed happy to be there always, except for the fact that I don't think I was able to feed her as much as she wanted to be fed.
She does like to eat.
Yeah, I like felt kind of bad that I didn't like get stuff beforehand, just like snacks to have.
Well, all she needs to know is where the Ralph's is, and then she could go to the store and get.
We also have a corner store like right by us. So.
Yeah, true.
But I did ask her before she showed up if she needed me to like order her anything. But
Mm-hmm.
and of course when she got here, she was like, "Do you have any body wash?" And I was like, "Not really." I asked you if you needed anything. Okay.
Wait, isn't you? I thought you had body wash in the.
No, I don't.
No. Okay.
I mean, I used it all, and now I make my own.
Oh, that's cool.
Like a weird hippie.
You make your own, like for like a weird hippie.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Or a smart hippie.
Whoa, so true.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever look up your dad's old houses?
We looked at the first one that you sent.
The Tarzana?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I definitely have seen an address that's like really close to me, though. But I think that was the one I saw on the card.
Oh, the Encino?
I guess it could have been the Encino one. I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. But it doesn't
I
really
never
matter.
heard about that one by LAX, so that was new to me.
Yeah, I guess every well-off person probably had a house there before it went away. It seems like. I don't know.
Mm.
Well, that even El Segundo, it was just, a lot of them were just little tiny houses, and they were mainly built for the aviation related businesses in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Linda Punky. I'm working on my junk journal today. Oh no, did we lose Angie? Sorry, Angie.
I think she had to go do her follow up on
Oh, okay.
other stuff,
Okay.
packages or something.
Yeah, probably some shipping.
So, Bridget, you didn't hear, but my cat that I showed you last week disappeared the next day.
What?
My cat Fang is he's been gone for a week
Why?
because some critter probably got him. Because he was an indoor-outdoor cat, and his routine was to be outside at night and come in the morning. And he was last seen on a neighbor's camera at 3:30 in the morning last Tuesday, and that was it.
Wow.
So I put up flyers. I, talked to neighbors. Mom made phone calls. And
So it's realistic for something like that to have happened.
oh yeah, we have neighbors who have cats go missing, which is a nice way of becoming some critter's midnight snack. So, but we've got bobcats and bears and mountain lions and coyotes and foxes and owls and other birds of prey.
But why do you let him out then?
So, well, we've had cats who've been outside full time for 15 years and nothing ever happened. And he seemed pretty savvy. But over the years, we've had more predators come in the area because a lot of neighbors now have chickens or other things that attract these other animals. And so yeah, of course, now I would say I would never let Fang out at night again, but that I don't know. But then other people have said, "Oh, my cat was gone for a year and came back." So you just know. So we'll
pray for Fang.
Yeah, please come back, Fang.
My little bud.
Yeah,
so I've just been torn. Okay, do I put away his toys? Do I put away his kitty litter? And so I at least stopped his pretty litter deliveries for the time being.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh boy.
You get used to your little routines with your pets, and it's like,
yeah. How are the Princess Fluff and Chuck doing?
They're good. Did you watch my video that I sent you?
No, last I checked last night, it was still downloading, so I went to bed.
You should look again. And I don't know. I filmed it in 4K on accident, so it's like a really big file. And now I'm getting alerts from Google Drive that my whole account is full, basically, from that video. It was just 10 minutes. I didn't mean for it to be that long, but
yeah. Did you want me to watch it right now?
No, don't.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, it's there. I see the beginning of it.
It's just going over everything going on here and the rules I need you to adhere to.
The rules of...
Yes, there are rules here.
Yes,
and there's only a few.
Yes, ma'am.
It should be easy to follow.
Okay. I should be able to follow your rules. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see.
I appreciate it. Appreciate your guidance.
I'll know if you don't and you lie to me. I will know.
I won't. Why would I ever do that? Now I have to watch. I'm not gonna watch it for everybody, but I'm just gonna.
Okay. Well, can we not hear the audio?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself. You have to talk though. Talk with Julie.
Oh, okay.
So, did you ever write Anne back?
No. What's
she just wants to know
things towards this woman.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because she's old and she's finally realizing she doesn't have much time, and she was just wanting to get to know you and Maddie, and what do you guys do, and what are your interests. And
I was emailing her at the end of high school, beginning of college.
Oh,
stopped. Yeah, I don't know if she's acting like I've never talked to her, but.
No.
The last time I saw her in person, I was a small child, and I don't think she liked me at all. So
I don't have any feedback on that for you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's why I'm just I don't know. I don't even know how many times I've seen her in my life. Maybe just 2.
Well,
But Maddie's been emailing her, right? She told me
Oh,
that.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
apparently. Yeah. I don't know how, I think somewhat recently, I think at least this year. I don't know though. But we did read your email. I just forgot to respond. I had to have Maddie read
Well,
it to me.
not a problem.
But yeah, I can email her. I liked her story about her friend that's getting married or something. I liked that.
Oh, Marcia. She
Yeah.
sounds, yeah. Well, most of Anne's friends are probably dead, and so she's just people that she runs into now are just people
Yeah.
that help her out.
Yeah.
And then there's Bill and Fern, and that's kind of it. And I don't know if she even speaks much with Jill, but anyway, so she has her political views and other things, and
Oh, she's politically incorrect.
well, no, I am politically incorrect, and she is correct. So,
Whoa.
so
yeah, that's
it's like
another thing. I know that
she's right about everything, and then then there's the rest of us, and so for a long time she and my dad didn't speak. In fact, Dad didn't speak to her before he died, and Mom was trying to get him to reconcile with Anne because they had some falling out over politics and religion, because Dad and Mom are very conservative Christians, and Anne was kind of the opposite, and so Anne would send these snarky emails, and Dad finally had it, and so there was something to the effect of I'm not speaking to you ever again or whatever, and so they didn't. And Dad wouldn't bend and say, look, that was a little extreme. But Dad was so, far gone with his rational thinking the last 5 years or so of his life. There was no way that he would, be able to get through having a apology and reconnection with Anne, which is really sad, but that's just how it was. But at least after he died, Mom and I kind of picked up the ball, and so we just talk about gardening and other frustrating issues with computers and things, and family stuff. She'll ask about what we're doing, and then she'll tell me stuff about her growing up and her family and just travels and things. I love hearing about her travels. So
now I'm confused about the whole political stance thing. She's politically incorrect, but your dad was conservative.
So but Anne is she's very liberal in her thinking, and she's an agnostic. And so then Dad's a Christian and, a pro-Trump person. So they're on completely different ends of the spectrum as far as religion and politics. And so instead of just agreeing to disagree and calling it a day and just sticking with old jokes and whatever, they just speak it all.
I'm confused because you made it sound like you don't agree with her.
So I'm
no, it's not black and white.
I'm libertarian, so I'm kind of in the middle. I'm Switzerland.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So and I just don't get all bent out of shape over politics, but I just got really sick. Just the people on Facebook or whatever, just pigeonholing every single person that all Republicans, all Democrats, all Christians are, of this one particular mindset. You couldn't pick a little bit here and pick a little bit there. And anyway,
that's why I left Facebook.
I just don't get into it. And So I've just tried to keep things light and positive and talk about cats and bunnies and fairies.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's time to fire up the hot glue gun.
Well, I haven't tried to email Anne again, but I think I might. My problem with correspondence has always been coming up with what to talk about.
Well,
Especially-
right. And
Yeah.
even if she can't relate, she just welcomes a break in her day because
Yeah.
she can't see, she can't, watch movies or, TV. So she listens to audiobooks and, has a couple of outings with going to the market or a doctor's appointment or something. And that's about it.
Yeah.
So Bill and Fern are hoping that she will move to some kind of retirement community. But
Mhm.
I think Anne just thinks that it's just going to be a bunch of people sitting in a stinky place spitting in a tray all day. So
Yeah. And that's pretty accurate most of
for
the
most of the time, but she can afford.
I had to remind my dad he was actually doing that too. Like he actually, was drooling and like there were things it's funny how disconnected he was with who he was. Um, and didn't realize how much he needed the help. So, but that's how it goes.
Oh, my dad wouldn't wear
Just-
Depends, and it was driving my mom crazy because she was having to change his clothes and wash his clothes all day long. I mean,
Yeah.
and and being in her 80s, it's just not what she pictured she'd be doing with her life at the time. So
Yeah, it makes it so much harder
so
for the
finally
caregivers.
she said, well, your buddy Larry wears them. He started wearing them that day.
Yes.
So
The
it's
FOMO
not
is
that
real.
the doctor or anybody else. Don't listen to your wife that you've been married to forever.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and still, if Dad had his way, if I hadn't made it happen, he probably would have been languishing, in their home without, any real help.
Yeah, no, it's tough. And Munga and Grandpa didn't want to have anybody in their house, and it finally got to the point where they had to. And then the people turned out to be dishonest. And I think Dad called one time, and Munga answered the phone, and she was there all alone for at least 4 hours that we know of. And I would have fired them all, but he kept them on.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, and they
That's
stole
awesome.
stuff, and
Yeah.
so
Yep.
but anyway, that's ancient history now.
Yeah. It's I think about that and like what I would need and planning. You can plan, but there's still the execution of the plan.
Well, and you don't know exactly what's going to happen to you and what your needs are going to be.
That's right.
And it's just taken me forever to get Mom to acquiesce to redoing her bathroom, but it was next to impossible to bathe and take care of Dad in their current bathroom. And she's all squished in her space because it was just the most obnoxious, awkward design. And there's no way you can get a wheelchair or anything, even a walker, in her bathroom. And
Yeah, it has to be accessible.
so
Right?
now we're going to gut it. So I'm waiting on the cabinets to come and waiting for the contractor to call me with a start date. So I've now got just about all the material I need, but then there's the stuff that the contractors need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all new drywall and everything. Because
Mhm.
when we redid the last bathroom, the condition of the um, insulation, all that was hideous. So I thought
Oh
this
yeah,
won't do. So,
yeah, that doesn't last.
and then they have a whole house generator outside their bedroom bathroom. And I thought, well, if we can get more insulation for soundproofing and stuff, that will help.
Is the generator loud?
Very,
Yeah.
because it runs off of propane and it can run all the appliances. It's like life is normal except for it's just noisy. And then when the power goes out everywhere and everybody in the neighborhood turns on their generators, it's like nonstop thunder.
Oh wow.
Okay, the little bunny is all better. Yay.
Oh, the bunny's all done.
Yay.
All
He didn't
right.
take too much. So now I got to get I just have the grass to put on the wreath.
Fun. That's okay, EMG. We figured you were dealing with some things. Glad you could say hello with Lulu.
So here's the wreath.
Oh,
So now
wow.
I'm just sticking all the grass in between the eggs. And
Cute.
I got to be careful because these are real eggs, so I don't want to squish them.
Yeah. I love the colorful, the beautiful colors. Beautiful.
So they're
all
a
together.
combination of nail polish and good old, Easter egg stuff and
Wow.
all kinds of things. So I saw some were dated from 1977 and 84 and 85 and I don't know what
Oh,
else.
did you, when they were made, they were.
Yeah, so we've been saving them in
Wow.
egg cartons forever, and we had Easter egg trees, and so I had little ribbons tied onto each of them, and people's family names and all kinds of stuff for a long time. So then looks like Mom and David did a bunch one year. So, we would try using crayons for design and then dip them in so you have a contrast.
Yeah.
All right.
No bark.
I'm so not used to you having a dog barky sound on your live view.
Yeah, Loki, you're a little jumpy, huh? I'm not exactly sure when they're coming back. She said mid to late Monday. What would you interpret that to be? Mid to late?
Oh, is that today?
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know what mid to late.
Mid to late would be maybe late afternoon.
That's what I was
maybe
assuming.
It's early evening to late evening.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Where did they go?
I think Eastern Washington. So sunny and warm over there. I mean, it's sunny here a little bit, but it's only about 75 today.
Lovely. It's been like that the past 3 days, and it was grand. And now we're heading back into the 90s.
Let's see.
But, back east, did you see that people back east were getting like triple digits with humidity, and a lot of people back there don't have air conditioning, and it looks like a nightmare.
Heat wave, yeah. Yeah, not here. Our usual June weather. It's like 75 for the high for Bridget. That's nice. Not too hot.
Oh.
But then it's going to get into the 80s later in the week.
Yeah, I remember living along the coast. Good old June gloom.
Yeah, that's sort of how it is here. Oh, wow.
I bought some silicone fingertip savers. So when I work with a hot glue,
Yeah.
just half the time I forget that I have them. And I end up burning myself. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So Katie dropped off my oldest granddaughter at camp yesterday. And on the way, they stopped at the Whistle Stop Cafe and had fried green tomatoes.
You said you watched that movie recently, right?
Yeah. And,
Remember that.
but I have no idea where the location is. I'm guessing it's somewhere in Georgia. So I'll have to ask her. Today is my Emily's 39th birthday.
Oh, wow. How many grandchildren do you have?
I have 3 grandchildren and 2 daughters and 1 son.
All my grandbabies have fur, but I have a close friend. I have a close friend who has a 2-year-old, and she's going to have a little girl in October.
Oh, that's fun.
And I'm pretty close with them. In fact, I'm going to see them when I'm down to watch Bridget's cats early next month. I'm going to see Maria and Bobby, at least maybe Ryan too, Bridget. On the 5th, I think we're going to get together. And
Nice.
hopefully go to the beach. They live down by in San Clemente, so we'll probably go to Dana Point or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll probably drive down to see them down there.
My dad's father's, one of his brothers, had a home in San Clemente and was pretty close to the coast up on a cliff. And I remember all the cousins would get together there like every August. And so the kids, we'd all go down to the beach, and somehow there was some wacky trail to get down there.
Yeah.
And we'd leave a penny on the railroad track to flatten because that was something cool to do.
I remember that from when I was a kid. Yeah, so they're close as I'm going to have probably to grandchildren anytime soon. But she's asked me to, Bridget, I don't know if I've told you this, she's asked me to come down in October, late October, for when she is due to help with Bobby and the dogs, because they're not talking to her in-laws right now, or their in-laws aren't talking to them right now. So their in-laws live down there, and her parents live in Maryland, so they're not close by to help. So,
and does she have any siblings?
She has a brother, but he's off on the East Coast and like doing his thing.
Right.
So yeah, and he doesn't have her husband Ryan doesn't have any siblings. So they could hire somebody, but they just asked if I was going to be, if I could be around, and I said, "Oh yeah, definitely, I'd love to do that."
For how long?
Well, it kind of depends on when, you know. I think I'll book a 2-week kind of idea, and hopefully she'll give birth in that time frame.
So she's not having a planned.
I'm sure if something happened, she'd pay for any kind of change that any expense that I'd have to have. But
you're trying to get there before she.
Well, yeah. So she's due on the 29th. So I'm gonna probably try to get there the 27th. She doesn't think anything's gonna happen until a week after her due date. So it's probably gonna be early November. But we'll see. She had to have a C-section the first time, so we'll see how it goes this time. And so if it's okay with you, I'd like to see you a little bit while I'm there, but I'm definitely able to stay at her place, especially as things get closer. And so I just wanted to tell you about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I might like rent a car or something, or I'm sure, they will help cover any expenses I might have. Hi, Kathy Wiseman, Irondale, Alabama, she said. Is that where the whistle stop is? I have a feeling that's what she was referencing. I don't know.
Well, they would have gone way out of their way for that.
She said, yep.
Wow.
I don't know. I guess.
Bless their little old hearts.
Yeah.
Well, I knew there were Bubba Gump places, restaurants, but I hadn't heard about the Whistle Stop Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
My mother-in-law used to make fried green tomatoes, and I just was not into anything like that back then.
Yeah.
And now, and she made the best biscuits, fried chicken, because she's from Florida, very southern.
Mm-hmm.
And she made these breakfast orange rolls with the raised yeast dough that were just to die for.
Oh, I bet. Yum.
So I can still talk about food even though I'm not eating.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the memory of good
I was
food.
gonna ask, is it your knee orthopedist that wants you to lose weight? Is he kind of
Well, I want to lose weight just on my own.
Right.
And I had gone to my regular doctor a year and a half ago, and he prescribed semaglutide, and which is like Monjurno.
Oh.
And or something else. I forgot what it's called. There's so many. But
I don't know.
Anyway, but Medi-Cal didn't approve it because I have state health care.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that I have Medicare, and I had the medical need to lose weight for my surgery,
right.
then maybe that's how it was approved this time where it wasn't before.
Okay.
And
It's not
but I'm
your
getting it for
surgeon
free.
insisting that you do it before he will or they
Right.
will give you a knee
Yeah.
surgery.
No, he just highly advised it because of there being fewer complications
Yeah.
afterwards. So anyway, so I was grateful to have an excuse, but then I made an appointment with my doctor to get this medication, and I couldn't get an appointment with him until September. And I thought, that's when I want my surgery. So,
Oh.
and I need to call the doctor today and get that surgery scheduled. But anyway, so I thought maybe there's another doctor I can see. And sure enough, since that was never suggested by the office, I thought, well, doesn't hurt to try. And sure enough, they got me in, and I got approved, and 3 days later, I had my medication.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm creating this lovely mess.
Yeah, that grass is kind of messy. And then a glue gun too, huh?
Yes.
Glue gun with the stuff.
And this is the back side. I can always trim a little bit, but I just want more of the green showing than the base of the wreath.
Okay.
I had been using this wreath for something else, and it had seen better days. So I thought, well, I have a good
For it.
solution for it. So.
Yeah. I love that when I already have something and I can make it into something else.
Exactly.
I love it.
Taken apart my grandmother's jewelry. My mom's mom, she had all kinds of costume jewelry. And I sold a bunch of stuff. Like I was never going to be wearing Joan Rivers pins and things.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But they pretty much held their value.
Oh, did they? That's good.
I had a ton of them. And
that's good to know.
So, yeah, I learned a lot from selling all her stuff because I didn't know that people needed gold gilded oyster plates or that such a thing even existed until I tried selling it. And I'm like, what the heck is this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I learned a lot about those things when I was selling my mom's things, mom's collections.
What I had wished is that I knew the history. I mean, was this something that that she or my great grandmother had purchased, or years ago, or did she get them at estate sale? Because she and my great grandmother would go to estate sales and pick up all kinds of stuff, art and jewelry, and so and my grandmother had all kinds of cool clothes from the 60s and 70s, but she was a chain smoker.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of her stuff just reeked. And so a lot of people will buy stuff if it smells that bad, because as many times as I could wash something, I just couldn't get that smell out.
Yeah, that does happen. It's too bad.
And that was another thing. Anne, I don't know if she still smokes, but she
I was wondering.
Was smoking, and Dad and I have asthma, so we can't be around smoke.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big issue, but if Anne came up here, she would have to smoke outside. And
Mm-hmm.
and my brother's family, Tom and his family, if they're not smoking pot, some of them are smoking cigarettes, and I can't be around it. I don't mind, that they're using pot because I take gummies every night, but so does mom. But
Yep.
so,
Yep, I know the smoking. It's just so much.
and we used to just be used to it all the time because restaurants and planes
I
and everything
know everyone did it.
dealt with, and now that I don't have to, I don't even think about it until I'm around those who smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be very limiting in your life to have that habit too. I imagine I don't know of any actual care facility that would allow smoking indoors. And
Yeah.
and
I think that was another issue for Anne
yeah, exactly. I know where my dad was living, there was a little place outside that some residents I saw would sit, but you'd have to go outside. And
right.
so,
And whether she's in California or Texas, wherever she would end up,
yeah,
if she would acquiesce to move. But she's 93.
there's times, well, yeah, and that's just not safe at a certain point too. So catch yourself on fire if you fall asleep.
No.
My dad couldn't stay awake for anything. He'd fall asleep in mid conversation. If he was smoking, that would have been a hazard.
Absolutely.
How are you, Kathy? I am excited to see you too. I hope we can do something, I guess, Wednesday or Thursday this week. I think that's what we talked about. Yeah, nice and comfortable weather for your visit, Kathy. I'm not too far from you right now. I'm over at Loki and Bodie's house. We're over by McCollum Park. I guess it's South Everett. I don't know if you
The
know
only
it.
reason I know those areas is because I watched who are those designers that are realtors? Unsellable Houses. Have you ever seen that show?
No, unsellable
HGTV?
houses.
Yeah, so there's two girls, they're twins. Trying to think of their names, but they live in Snohomish,
Mm-hmm.
and but they redo houses all over. So basically their shtick is for their show is somebody is unable to sell their house because it's dated or needs work or isn't staged right or something, and so they come in and figure out how much it's going to cost to how much it's worth to invest to fix up the place to sell it.
Okay.
And then they use their own money to do that, and then whatever the profit is after getting their money back, they split the difference with the homeowner.
Oh, okay.
So they have their own contractors and stuff. They have their own design firm in town, and they sell home furnishings and accessories and things. So it's Leslie and what's the other sister's name? I can't think. So anyway, it's
Cool.
Unsellable Houses is the name of the show, and it's HGTV or DIY or one of those things.
Cool.
I think they're on multiple streaming devices.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's an interesting viewing, but they show off different places in the area. And so
Cool.
I feel like I've had a tour.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I mean, you say, "Oh, we're in the Seattle area," but what does that mean? That's like being in Los Angeles. There's so many
Yes.
different areas of Los Angeles.
There's so many. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just north of the city. Snohomish is out a little ways. I consider that kind of country,
Mm.
but it's
And they said Everett's like 20 minutes, half an hour from there or something.
yeah. And Everett is right, and Linwood and Seattle, they're right along I-5. Snohomish is kind of east of I-5.
Okay.
A little bit, but of course there's highways connecting everything, and everything's built up in between, so it's not like remote country, I would say, but it's definitely more country than here, and definitely more conservative than here, and all of those things. I guess you get a mix of those people. Yeah, there's a mix of everyone. But I really I got to stay in Seattle proper a little bit more when I was helping Maddie when she was out of town. I was watching her cat, Felix. And so she actually lives in Ballard, in the same neighborhood where the girls were born and grew up. So
okay.
just a few blocks away. So it's definitely nostalgic for me. And but a whole different feel, I guess.
Right.
Than here.
Well, there's hardly anybody that I know left in my old hometown. And I used to go back for, high school parties and different things.
Mm-hmm.
But, growing up, pretty much everybody in the town was white. And the only differences would be, are you, Catholic, Jewish, Methodist, Lutheran, that kind of a thing. Never really got into the politics of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now JPL is right in that. It's a part of the town, even though it's way to the east of La Cañada. There are so many engineers. Well, a lot of them are Asian, and so we've had this huge Asian change to the demographic in the area. And then Glendale especially, but somewhat La Cañada, a lot of Armenians. So it changes what the stores carry, because they're catering to different ethnic groups and
restaurants.
So I go visit on my old street, and I look like the weirdo because I'm not Asian. It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah. Different feel.
Mm-hmm. Boy, I feel like I have just a big Easter mess right here.
Well, Ballard in Seattle, just north of downtown. The old Ballard locks are there, where the 25 years ago, they built the locks to go between the Puget Sound and the Lake Washington and Lake Union. They connected those two just to be able to bring in, fishing boats, leisure boats, shipping, some shipping containers in that area. But Ballard was like an old, it was founded or settled, I suppose, by a lot of Norwegian people. And so there's a Norwegian Heritage Museum that Norway has visited a few years back when they redid it. And but Ballard, from all of 20th century, pretty much had been known as this small shipping or fishing village kind of area. And it was its own thing until it did get swallowed up into Seattle long time ago. And then it just, when we lived there, it was just one of the many neighborhoods in Seattle. And where was I going with this story? Oh, when we were there, living there in the late 90s and early 2000s, they changed some of the building codes so that they could build up higher and build more multi-family unit type condos, basically. And so that changed everything there. It was already, built up and very city, but now it's even more so because of all of the just what do you call it? Just more population per square foot, more people in that, and then brings in a lot of people, new people to the area, people who are maybe buying a condo for the first time. So it's a lot of younger folks, and it's very walkable. There's a lot of fun, like burger places and lots of Thai food restaurants in that area.
Whatever is new and trendy.
Yes, new and trendy, exactly. So it feels a little bit different. I feel like younger single people with dogs and disposable income.
Now, is Microsoft up there?
Well, that's in Redmond, actually. Redmond.
Okay, is that south?
It's a little south and east.
Okay.
But it's still considered, it's still the I-5 corridor. But there's Google and all these other, Amazon.
So there's a lot of tech.
That built stuff in Seattle too, and that brought up costs and property values too. So it's kind of, some people are priced out of living in Seattle, definitely, but
well, that's how it's getting here in our little county. And it used to be, it was, much more affordable, but, kids today, they can afford $500,000 for a little tiny fixer upper.
Oh yeah.
Let alone the repairs.
Yeah. Well, if you want a little condo for $500,000, there's a little 2-bedroom condo in Maddie's building that's for sale.
Oh, well. Yeah, I'll just run right up there.
There's no property or anything. You get a parking spot in the garage.
Wow.
And that's about it.
Well, another issue here is our insurance, fire insurance, property insurance.
Oh, sure, yeah.
We don't need earthquake insurance that much here, but because we're not on a fault line, but we certainly feel the earthquakes. But anyway, it's just the insurance is so high that if you are not a primary resident, the rates are even higher, which makes it a lot harder for people to have rental income properties now.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm bored with this.
Right, Kathy, what a deal. Well, I was thinking about buying it. I don't know. It's a very small building. There's only 6 units in the building, and it's like built in the early 90s.
But what are the homeowners
93.
association dues and stuff?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maddie rents from somebody who owns
Got it.
her condo, and she's on the top floor. I call it the penthouse because she has skylights, which makes it a nice bright high
Sure.
ceiling. It's a really nice little space, and she gets a pretty decent considering the other rent in the area. She's does. Hopefully they don't knock on wood. Hopefully they don't raise it, but she does okay. But the neighbor downstairs has lived there since the building opened, and she's moving into retirement community. And the person below them also was moving out and selling their unit, but she was selling it to a family member, I think, so wasn't on the market. But those two moving out, it'll be interesting to see who moves in. Those two were older, in their 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, really nice too. They always got along really well with Maddie. But it was only for that reason I was kind of thinking, well, Maddie was kind of teasing for a while. Mom, do you want to buy this place for me? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it would be a good investment because there's stairs. There's no
I think it's a
elevator.
horrible investment.
There's no elevator. What?
I think it's a horrible investment.
It would be a horrible
I
investment.
don't understand buying apartments. Like, you don't have any guarantee with what's happening on the other side of the wall.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. I think if it were Maddie's unit, which is the top floor, you don't have to worry about somebody being above you, maybe. But then you have the ceiling, the roof. Like, they had a roof leak, I guess, before Maddie moved in. And yeah, I don't get how it works with the homeowners association. And then they had a break-in not that long ago, and where Maddie's electric bike was stolen out of the garage.
Oh gosh.
There's definitely, like any city on the West Coast, we have our issues with.
It's not West Coast exclusive.
It's true, I suppose. I haven't spent that much time on the East Coast, but I imagine they have some issues with transient people too.
Well, when I lived in a condo in Florida, I moved there 2007 to 2010, and I was working part-time at JCPenney, and I was renting a condo from friends of my kids, and I lived on the first floor in the very, very back, and so there weren't a lot of people around. And the way the building was, the exterior door opened up into a hallway, and then to the left and to the right would be the different units for access. And so I lived on the left, and my neighbors across were on the right. And I got home one night, and the casing around my door was open, and I know I had locked the door. And then the trim on the inside was all busted, and probably shouldn't have gone in, but I did, and it looked like nothing was missing. Well, I called the cops, and they had just been there because the people across the way had just purchased a brand new flat screen TV.
Oh.
And I had everything old school, so they didn't steal anything of mine. And I guess somehow they must have followed a delivery truck or something to the property. And, and then, people sit in cars, and you don't know if they're, on a work break or they're visiting somebody. And so I just didn't pay attention to different cars around. And because the economy was so bad, so many people had moved out of the complex. So there were a lot of empties there. But anyway, so these girls across the way had their TV stolen. And so then the cops had to come back and do all the reports and all that crap. But anyway, and, I've seen the homeless in the area, but It was also just a sign of the times with the economy being so bad there and all kinds of businesses shutting their doors,
Right.
2008 through then. And, every job I would get, oh, sorry, we got to let you go because we don't have any, our sales are down and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so that's just
Hi, Christy.
was.
Yeah, that's tough.
So what's this journal that you've got? Is this your particular journal?
Yeah, I made it. I didn't particularly like the spine. It's a little loose, so I decided.
I need my spine to be like that.
I decided to keep. Really, you like that, huh?
Well, I need a thicker
spine.
My junk is quite thick.
You have thick junk.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll make you a thicker one next time. I just made this. I made it in. Julie and I did a tutorial series where we were making the spine and just showing how we make the little golden book junk journals from scratch, how we build them. And so I made this one and just decided it was just going to be a thing that I could play in and practice different techniques and maybe put in a few like little things that I like to look at with no particular rhyme or reason, just sort of flex my creativity a little bit and
Sure.
see. But it's not thrilling me, to be honest. It doesn't thrill me. Where's my glue stick?
So did you have any kind of a theme in mind, or it was just kind of random?
That's probably my issue, Julie, is that I don't have a theme. It's sort of just a hodgepodge of a, I have something, I like this piece of paper, so I'm going to glue it into the book. There it is. So maybe if I had a theme.
Then you can just add, theme things to it later, because it's all about layering anyway, right?
Yeah. I had hoped that it would be sort of therapeutic. I would just keep busy and look at pretty things and maybe create a pretty page and feel good about that. But instead, most of the time I just get caught up in, well, I don't know, this just looks like garbage and, just not feeling it.
Well, since I have my hot glue gun all fired up, I'm going to cover now a styrofoam ball that I painted.
Oh, nice.
Out of the cork color, and use champagne corks to cover it.
Oh, can't wait to see that.
Well, have you seen my wine cork one?
I don't know if I saw it.
All right, I'll go get one.
Okay. How are you doing, Christy? You staying cool? I bet it's hot there. Hot in Houston. Oh. How's your journal coming along, Bridget?
So this is one covered in corks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's a 4-inch foam ball. And then
Take you back here.
I was doing all kinds of stuff with corks for the longest time. So
wow. That's cool.
They're just, well, for people who are wine drinkers and stuff, they just like to, have something to remember their favorite brand or whatever. So
this one's going to be just all champagne.
So this is just going to be champagne corks. And if there was something on Pinterest to make with corks, chances are pretty good. I tried it. And Let's put a few out
How about you, Bridget? How's it going?
Fine.
Yeah.
there. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, I collected some corks for a while. I thought I would use them. I didn't collect them myself in that I didn't drink wine. I just collected them from other people
Sure.
who had set them aside. And
Yeah,
then,
I can't say I drank all this.
yeah, yeah. And then when we moved, we got rid of a lot of things, gave away some things and sold some things. And the person that got the giant bag of corks was really happy about it. And I was excited.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I was excited that they were excited.
Well, I made a whole mess of stuff and then worked a couple of craft fairs, probably 4 or 5. And I made like 50 cents on the dollar of my investments, even with all the corks I got. So I thought, well, as fun as this is, it's better just to make them for gifts. Mm-hmm. And so it was, fun, a creative experience. But I just learned how snarky that fair people can be.
Yes. I did a few, and that was all.
Well, I mean, people would come by, and if it weren't, other craft people, it would be like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
The one thing I did that was fun is I made initials that were, I don't know, 18, 20 something inches high, and would cover black foam core in cork, and it was something to mount on a wall. And I did ampersands and stuff like that too.
That's neat.
But to cover it with the corks, I would cut out the individual letters off of the corks and make names and dates and places and sayings that were personal to the person who was wanting it. So it wasn't just a plain letter.
Okay.
And but even still, I might have only done 20 of those, and that was enough.
Yeah.
But we have in little old Murphy's, you've been here.
Yeah.
Tiny little Murphy's, we've got at least 25 tasting rooms for different wineries now, little boutique wineries.
Yeah.
So, getting a hold of corks is no problem.
Yeah.
And but learning the best way to cut them, sort them, figure out what I wanted to do, that took some time.
Right.
Well, I guess it is with things even like junk journaling, or
right,
learning what tools you actually have to buy and what you can make do with.
That's right. Have you done a cork board with corks?
I have done. I bought a lot of picture frames, old art from garage sales, and used those. And so I've done several probably cork boards. And then since a lot of people around here use wine barrels for planters, they do half barrels or quarter barrels. As they would fall apart, I also have a barn full of wine barrel staves and wine barrel hoops. And so I've done things with those. And it all started because one of Mom's wine barrels on the deck was falling apart. And I thought, we got to upcycle, everything we can. That's my thing. So
Yeah.
it's like, what am I going to do with this stuff? And that led to a search on Pinterest. And then all this other stuff came up.
Oh, yeah.
Murphy's doesn't have, here we have all these wine tasting rooms and we don't have anybody selling anything, with the wine corks. And I thought that would be an easy target.
Yes.
Sure, that'll make a ton of money. No, it did not. So,
yeah.
but it was fun. And
Yeah.
so what was most popular with my friends were just making hot pads, trivets out of corks.
Oh, yeah.
And I had one friend who loved to give those to her friends who would come to visit. So I've got to deal with her.
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
great.
and I, got to know people in the wine tasting rooms and learned about local wines. And but since I don't drink anymore,
Nice. Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's not that I won't have anything to drink. It's just doesn't do anything anymore.
I've always had trouble with wine. I love the taste of it. I just didn't like how I felt. I think people would say you might be sensitive to the tannins, or something or sulfates. I don't know what.
Yeah, I think more often it's the sulfates that they add, and because you don't find many organic wine places around.
So I just stay away from it. I would just get really blotchy and just feel like I was having kind of an allergic reaction. So,
oh gosh. So yeah, I could get, red cheeks or something. And I certainly didn't want one of those alcoholic noses that, see old guys with these swollen noses. I thought, yikes.
Right.
So it's starting to look like a bomb.
Yeah.
Like a mine you'd see in the ocean.
Oh, bye, Kathy. See you later. My friend Kathy Picasso Cat in the chat. She's up here visiting her sister, and she comes up every year. So the last couple of years,
you guys getting together?
Yeah, the last couple of years we've been able to get together and do a little antique shopping. At least looking, mostly.
Right.
But her niece comes with, or no, her granddaughter. Her granddaughter comes with her. And they come up for several weeks and stay.
That's great.
Lives in Arizona, so she's beating the heat, getting away from the heat.
Don't blame her. And it's just beginning. We got months to go.
Yeah.
We've just been so delighted to have this cooler weather because last year we hit triple digits and it hardly dipped into the mid 90s at all for months. And so now we're hoping for a break.
Yeah, Kathy was saying last year that it just stayed hot and it was well past Halloween before it really,
yeah, it was
cooling down last year.
Then when my kids came to visit in November, they came the week before Thanksgiving. It was like the coldest it was all winter, but we never got below freezing temps all winter. It was, very mild.
Yeah, I don't think we really froze much, if at all, this last year.
Is we had plants that normally die back that never died back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One round done. So with other journals that you've done in the past, have you had themes for those like you were, or were they mainly for clients who wanted you to do them?
Well, I've done what I call naked journals, which is, the construction, a little bit of decorating on the pages, but mostly blank for the recipient to
Uh-huh.
take. And the theme I would kind of go with in picking the pages themselves would be based on the book and the colors and
Got it.
things. But it didn't have to be super specific usually. And then I did an Alice in Wonderland journal for myself, and that's mostly done. And that seemed easier probably because it was Alice, right? So I
Sure.
picked things that kind of went with that, or flowers or butterflies that also
Deck of cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things that looked good with the Disney Alice in Wonderland
Right.
book. Yeah. So, and this one's the Richard Scarry little guys.
Oh yeah. I love his art.
Yeah. So a lot of the pages that I picked just sort of went with those original pages, just either neutral or green for the backgrounds there. And then just regular junk journal pages that I could put other pretty things on, do collages. I'm getting warm, so I'm going to take off my sweatshirt. And I finished mostly, I think. I might take one more peek at it before I ship it off, but the Beatles journal.
Oh, great.
For Lena. And I thought about bringing it here to kind of show it off, but I didn't want her to see it until she got it in person. So, and I knew she would probably see it if she watched this. So,
yeah.
So I decided just to keep the final reveal private for her, and then if she wanted to share it, she could come on and do that. So I'm excited to send that off. Going to do that before I leave for LA.
Well, I was looking on Etsy at cork balls just to see what the going rate was. And somebody had done a huge one with all different champagne corks and had left or had reattached the foil cap and the wire as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like over $400 for this thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I don't know how long it's been for sale.
Right.
There.
Yeah, it's still for sale. Mhm. Yep.
I am
It's
back.
pricey. Hi, you're back.
Sorry, I was on the phone.
Worky work.
What?
Work.
Yeah, basically.
Never
I
stop.
kind of want to go and get coffee, so I kind of want to leave this.
Okay. All
So where do you
right.
get coffee?
Well, I have a gift card for Phil's, so I'm gonna go to Phil's.
Okay.
Yeah,
You have a lot of choices around there.
yeah, it's true.
Basically, you just walk to Ventura, right?
Yeah, except Phil's isn't really walking distance of me anymore, so
What?
I mean, I can walk there, but I don't really have the time to do that right now.
Oh, I see.
I'm trying to get some work done, you know? I'm trying to get
Time
on
is money. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
All right,
see you, ladies. I'm gonna go.
Love you. I'll finish watching your
Okay.
video and I'll talk to you later.
Oh yeah, let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. Thank
Have a
you.
good week.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
So I thrifted this, I don't know what you'd call it, a doily.
It looks like it's a doily, but it could have been a placemat or something from the size.
Oh yeah, it could have been. It's a square kind of one by
Yeah.
one, I guess. But I washed it, which was, I don't know, maybe not the best idea because now the colors are a little faded and it bled a little bit. The colors bled
Yeah, who cares?
into. Yeah.
Because you can cut it up and do
But
different things
yeah,
with it or use it as
exactly.
applique. There's all
I
kinds of stuff.
decided to cut it up because also I hadn't noticed this damage before, but the threads.
It's a
and
pain in
stuff.
the butt to try and fix it.
Yeah. So I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to just cut it up instead. So it's
So
kind
there.
of given me permission. I mean, it looked so good when I got it. I felt so bad that I ruined
Yeah,
it.
but no, it needed to be washed. You don't want to be handling all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it needed washing. So I'm going to cut the individual pieces out and just kind of use it for appliques and things.
perfect.
So that's what I'm doing now. And the dog's owners confirmed about 6 p.m. is when they're expected to be back.
Okay.
That's perfect. Not that these dogs really need me for anything. They're just lounging. But when we're done here around 3, I'll take them out for a walk and they'll enjoy that. We're just not going to go to the stream, Loki. Not going to do it. Not even going to go close to it. Because you trick me sometimes. He's so headstrong.
Dog.
Yeah, he knows what he wants. I'll just lay down in the middle of the street and then I'm stuck. I'm just an old lady. Can't pick you up. This thing must have taken an unbelievable amount of work, though, when you look at all of the stitches on the back.
Yeah, and did they piece the little sections together, and then so
I just don't understand how it's made in the first place. So,
well, don't stress out over it.
Oh, I will.
It's like, I can't sleep. I have to know.
Yeah.
Mom will obsess over things and won't sleep. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that's why I take medication to sleep.
Well, that's why I take my gummies and allergy pills and my pain stuff. And something will kick in eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got my magnesium and trazodone and
Yeah, I never needed anything like that as a kid. I just would crash. And I could sleep like for 12 hours straight,
Yeah.
And anymore. Now it's the stupid heartburn that's keeping me awake. So I got to figure out.
I had to start taking omeprazole for heartburn.
Yeah.
So that's basically Pepsid.
Got it.
I remember my grandma was always on Pepsid. So that makes a huge difference for me.
Well, the deal with this medication is that since it slows down your digestive tract, food just sits there forever and doesn't start to digest unless you're eating easily digestible food. But you're thinking, okay, I need to have protein. I need to have this.
The easily digestible food doesn't give you energy. It goes through.
No, but then there's digestive enzymes, and I don't have a gallbladder.
Me either. Yes, that's a problem, isn't it?
So it really, adds to, how we digest food and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I noticed that, as much as I love red meat, give me a steak. It's just much harder to process, and so I have to limit it. And same with, I like to have fat with the meat. I like all that extra flavor, and yet it's just not feasible to deal with. Okay, I've got all these little soldiers lined up now. So let's see if that's wet.
Oh, Kathy Wiseman, you're cutting up doilies always? That's good. I'm going to start doing more of it. I have so many that I've thrifted. And if they have any bit of damage, they're going to go in the cut up pile.
Yeah, I just felt guilty. I inherited all kinds of linens from manga and my mom's mom and great grandmothers and stuff, and even mom had things that she just never used, but over the years washing it could shrink or fade or something, and
Yeah.
I cut up one. Did you see that bag that I did with the butterfly, the blues and purples?
I think so.
Anyway,
Okay.
so I did a lace like that applique and made a butterfly out of it.
Cute.
And on Pinterest, I've seen some fabulous clothes made with vintage linens. But the idea of making a size 2X top or something out of it seemed wrong. So
it's a little different.
Maybe when I finally lose the 100 pounds.
Small. Yeah.
Why are we getting redone? Huh, that was strange.
What happened?
It blacked out and there was that little white circle of death.
Oh, yeah.
But we're back. So I can hear you. I just couldn't see you.
Oh, okay. Connectivity, maybe. Okay.
So I don't know if I'll run out of glue or corks first. I think I have enough corks, so I'm feeling I have to make or I guess just place an order on Amazon anymore. We get stuff the next day. And when COVID hit, we went from getting stuff next day to maybe 3 or 4 days later, if that. And up here, we use Amazon a lot.
Yeah. Oh, Loki. Loki.
Well, several of our neighbors have new dogs. And so one has a golden retriever that's very creamy. They call her Lily. And so we love her. And there's a couple others. One got like a miniature Australian Shepherd that I haven't seen. And then another adopted just some little nut from the pound.
Nice.
So we get little dog time.
Yeah.
We have wild turkeys in the neighborhood. Sometimes we get 40.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so now the mama turkeys are coming around with their babies. So we've got one mama who brought her 6 babies up today.
Oh, so sweet.
Well, they're cute until they start destroying my flower beds, and then I have them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love all the little birds because we've got bird
Yeah.
feeders all along the deck, and so we love all the little birds. But then we've got these obnoxious pigeons that have been coming around, and I want to send them to the next life. But
Yeah. Get out of here.
don't need their obnoxious kind in here, disturbing the little birds.
Yeah. We have lots of bunny rabbits all over.
Are they little brown cottontails or what color?
Yes.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Yes, lots of them, which I'm sure are food for lots of other animals.
Yeah.
But there's still plenty of them, so there's not enough predators, I guess. I haven't heard about any coyotes lately. Every once in a while you'll hear about them, but there's been too much construction near us. I think it's probably kept them away. Always building more condos everywhere.
Well, that must be what the affordable option is these days.
It's just everywhere, or just really small, really small lot, expensive new homes too. That I think a lot of foreign investors are buying up somehow. I don't know how that works, but just everything's always being built up and changed. That's one.
I would just want to save all the good stuff from the good old days.
Well, I want to save some of the green spaces and the undeveloped
Right.
lots and the places where the birds nest and the bunnies nest and the frogs. There was a frog pond not far from here that is, I'm sure, it's completely, that space is completely filled with buildings now. So
Oh.
I don't know where the froggies went.
Well, we have really cute tree frogs here.
Oh, true frog.
And they make the loudest sounds. You would think that they were enormous bullfrogs or jumping frogs, and they're just these little teeny tiny guys.
Oh, little ones. Yeah, I just loved hearing the croaking frogs at night talk. I guess their mating call or whatever that they
Sure.
talking to each other.
Well, I was out by our old chicken coop trimming down some hedges, and all of a sudden a snake comes out.
Oh no!
And so, but it was a good snake. It was a gopher snake, and they eat
Okay.
wolves and gophers and all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
And last year I saw one and I thought it was a rattlesnake and I killed it. And then I felt really bad when I realized it wasn't. It was a good snake. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't think I'd get to see a good rattlesnake again, but sure enough, one came back. So
Oh no!
okay. Come on, fit in here. You got endless possibilities there now.
Yes. What am I going to do with them all?
You'll get inspired. Something will hit you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, I got half done.
I saw a neat project the other day where they were printing directly onto fabric in their on their printer. They were putting, what they do? They took freezer paper and they fused a piece of fabric like muslin or something onto this freezer paper, and they depending on your printer, they experimented with a few different printers. I was watching a video on YouTube. This is how I discovered this method. They were able to feed it through their printer and just print like old photos or whatever.
Oh,
and
wow.
we're cutting that out and putting that onto a stiffened piece of like crocheted, the crocheted tablecloths that have like almost like star pattern.
Yes,
Yeah,
sure,
so
sure.
cut that individual like star thing out. My mom made some like that, but I've also thrifted a bunch that I don't use. So I can cut up those and then put that, layer that fabric photo onto the stiffened thing and make like little ornaments or, things that you can, again, just something you can put in your junk journal.
Yeah, I'd want to know what kind of printer, because my printer's super fussy about what I put through it.
Yeah. So I have a printer that I think might work. It sounds a lot like the one that the people used in the video. And I'm willing to take a chance with it. So I'm going to try it. And I'm going to use some of my mom's old photos that I've been meaning to digitize anyway. And then maybe make a few, I could make a few like little ornaments and things for the girls of photos of grandma. That kind of thing. So that is a project that I have in mind that I'm going to work on soon.
Yeah, as the weather gets hot and I come inside in the afternoons, it's when I start doing ancestry, and I have just probably a dozen banker's boxes at least of old family photos from mom and dad's side and going back several generations. And it's not just photos, but it's also documents and family stories and all kinds of things, and yearbooks and newspaper articles. And if we ever have a fire, all that stuff's just going to be gone forever. But if I can take the time while I'm smart and upload it and have all this stuff online, then I don't have to worry about it. So
that would be nice.
But the great thing about doing that is you can, if you want to print out photos later, you can print them different sizes, or you can crop them, which I feel guilty about now.
Yeah. Oh, hi again, Tamara. Yeah, Kathy Picasso Cat came in for a little while. Yeah, and then she left. I think she was going to do something. I don't know if Christy's still here. Are you working on your studio tomorrow? It's so fun to set up a new space.
It is.
She moved from California to Virginia recently.
Oh, wow. That is a
So,
big change.
yeah. Her kids are over there. I'm just cutting apart this little embroidered doily that I managed to kill by washing. But I have these little pieces now to put. I'm sorry, my lighting is just terrible in here, but I have these pieces to do other crafts with now. I'm making a mess on my black pants, but that's okay. My pants are always covered with cat and dog fur anyway.
Her little bits of thread and
Yeah.
I need to come in here and vacuum because I've got bits of all kinds of projects on my floor that I took down years ago when I married my second husband, oh so briefly. I was working locally at a flooring place that also sold window coverings, and I have worked extensively with window coverings, so they brought me in as their specialist. And anyway, so Dad bought a bunch of blinds for the house, and now that's like almost 30 years ago, and they have seen better days. So he's got these 10-foot windows in the big upstairs bedroom, and they had mini blinds in them, and they'd stopped functioning for the most part. And so I got them taken down and went to Lowe's yesterday to see what I could find to replace them. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. And so I got, because these windows are so big, they've got two like 29-inch windows on either end and a 60-inch window in the middle. And so I was able to find some blinds that were approximately the right size.
Oh, great.
So I get to put them up this afternoon.
Ah, okay.
And what else? So then I can have some, not only privacy, but some room darkening ability so I can sleep in it later.
Yes.
Not that, this is, a busy traffic street.
Yeah.
But, from if people just happen to be looking upstairs at just the right moment, I might be changing my clothes or something.
Yeah. Right.
My services aren't free. So
yeah, right.
I gotta pay.
That's right. Clean up my mess here. So Tamara says, I saw a YouTube lady with making a quilt with old doilies. Oh boy, that sounds cool. Kind of doing a crazy, is it called a crazy quilt? What is it called when it's just a bunch of things pieced together?
At angles, and then they're embroidered and beaded to that. So
I have an old antique piece of a crazy quilt that my mom rescued. I don't have a story, but I don't know if it was in a family, one of our family members or what, but it has like old fair, county fair ribbons that are very old in it. Yeah, really cool piece.
Well, I've got a few that were from manga, and one is just shredded. And when I talk about manga, you know who I'm talking about?
Your grandmother.
So Dad's mom.
Yeah.
And I just when I was little, Grandma came out manga.
Good stuff.
Stuck.
Manga.
And and I never thought it was weird because I that's what I was called her. And now I think about it, and I thought, that's a really funky sounding name. But she went along with it. So
Yeah.
okay.
That's right.
So one of the quilts I use at Christmas every year, or there are two of them, but there's one blue one that's just in shreds. But I don't want to give it up, but I figured I could quilt on top of it and just use it as the batting.
Oh, okay.
And so it'd still be salvaged somewhat because there's just not many parts of it that are usable.
I like that idea. Kind of a hybrid or a modified kind of quilt. I don't know. That's neat.
So, no, but I've seen quilts made out of men's ties, which I didn't really think was all that attractive. But I guess if somebody had a sentimental collection, that wouldn't be a bad thing to do.
Yeah. I sometimes wish I'd saved all Tom's ties. He had so many, but at the time I didn't want to take them with me or move them someplace. What was I going to do with them?
Right.
But I've been, since then, I've thrifted a couple really neat looking ties just because they were so vintage and they were so cheap, and I kind of like wanted to save them, but now I just don't know what I'm going to do with them. So a couple ties. And if I don't ever come up with something, that's okay. They don't take up much space.
Right.
Yeah.
You can let a dog wear one.
Exactly. Let a dog wear one.
It's a dog scarf.
Yeah, that's right. I do want to get a little doggy one of these days. Just a small little dog to pal around with.
Good
But
to
I
have a
also-
companion.
It's also a lot of work.
It is.
It's like if I want to
more
go
independent.
somewhere. Yeah.
Can't exactly hire yourself to dog sit.
Right. So it would have to be a portable dog that I could take with me and that I could, if I was going to continue to dog sit, then they would have to get along with other
Sure.
dogs. So let's see. Kathy said she sent me some Instagram pictures of something. Let's see. Ooh.
I'm gonna go turn my air on.
It looks like embroidery from an old blouse that didn't fit anymore, and she put it in a frame. Pretty. That's neat. I like that idea. Oh, she made a tray with it. It looks like it has handles on it. And then top of a coffee-sized table that has a glass top. Lace was the end of pillowcases. Neat. I like that idea a lot. Repurposing. Yeah, I like that. I have a framed doily that came out of my mom's house. I don't really love the frame. It's like an old 80s thin. Nothing looks that special about it. I guess I could paint it, but anyway, I wish I knew if it was a doily that she made or tatted. It might have been a tatted. Is that the right word?
Sure.
I don't know. I'll have to look at it more closely and take it out of the frame. And it's kind of slipped down and it's just on a piece of paper. So I think I could do better with it. And but I wish I knew like the story, because then I could include that and then I could pass it down to
Right.
but I don't know if it was, I think it was probably something that she made. I did find some tatting
Bobbins.
bobbins. Yes, thank you for the words. So I'm pretty sure she did try that. And so it's
Yeah, that art is just amazing. I watch,
amazing.
you know, what is that show? PBS series, something to Candleford, Likewise to Candleford, and there's it's a British, and there's a country woman who is still making lace, and just as the
Oh yeah.
Industrial Revolution hits, and so all lace is being machine done, but she's got her whole ton things of bobbins and just
Yeah,
makes it
just going
beautiful.
like crazy. I've seen
Yeah.
videos of that, just with the wooden.
And they've got their patterns, and
I don't
they've
know.
got it all figured out, and
Yeah, it's amazingly intricate. Yeah, fabric seems that's would be much better than paper for a backing. Yes, of course. Let's see. I have a few other things that I could fussy cut. These are some paper doilies that I fused onto freezer paper.
oh, okay.
An iron. And then I'm just kind of cutting out the edges, and I'm using them in my junk journals just as fun, interesting pieces.
Sure.
Yeah. These are just paper doilies, like from placemats and.
Oh, I cut up a paper doily for that one of my Christmas trays that I did.
Oh, yes. Oh, your Christmas trays turned out really pretty. You posted pictures, I think, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cute. Really nice. Yeah, I have quite a few framed things in my garage that I need to redo or give away. There's even some oil paintings that one is a picture of me that my mom she had a portrait picture that she did an oil painting of that picture that
wow.
of me, and that she had it in the house. And I never really cared much for it. I mean, she did a pretty good job. She portraits are extremely hard to do, but so I would say she did a fairly good job. But I don't want a giant portrait of myself in a
I understand.
pastel dress from the 70s, and I don't know. It seems to be a lot, kind of an ego thing to put a portrait of yourself in your house.
Unless you're my ex-husband's wife.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, she had this big portrait of her wedding dress from her marriage to Bob, this is my first husband. And she's Southern, and she was of the opinion that I was just the worst mother in the whole world because she believed every lie there was told about me.
Oh yeah.
And so she was so they got married in 89. We got divorced in 89. They got married in 89, like tail end December. And but anyway, she's got the typical 80s dress with the big poofy sleeves and her big hair, and so
big hair.
Oh gosh, yeah. So
yeah, I don't know about that. That's a lot. Is it just of her though, or is it the whole?
Oh no, yeah, it's just her. It's her.
Yeah, that's
all about her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to end up with leftover corks and leftover glue. Yay.
Oh, Kathy says my mom had pictures of herself all over her house. Yeah.
Well, it's one thing for me if you have pictures that are of, fun travels and all that, but
Mhm.
I just don't need to be taking selfies all the time and saying, this is what I look like today. This is my new outfit. These are my
Yeah.
sunglasses.
Yes. I'd much rather have pictures of other people that I care about than instead of looking at myself personally. But that's everyone has their thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Most people probably have better self-esteem than I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you do with a oil painting that your mother did and it's in your garage? Like nobody wants that.
Well, because people will use the canvas. If it's a regular canvas, people will paint over
Yeah,
it.
it is. Okay.
So, and people will buy stuff just for the frame. But if they're
Yeah, it is
looking
a
for
nice.
a canvas, then they
Mhm.
just gesso over it and start over.
Yeah, true. I did even save
Even
some unused frames or unused canvases too. Of course, I'm not going to be using them anytime soon, but I couldn't get rid of them
yeah.
because they're useful. Yeah, I should see if I'll probably end up just donating it to Goodwill or something.
Well, there comes a point of how much stuff do you have, and and how much time do you have to deal with something? Is it worth selling on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, or, like you said, donate it?
Right.
Okay, more to go.
Well, there's a really nice redwood painting that I'm keeping that I thought Maddie wanted, but she's not taken it yet. So we'll see. But I'm keeping that one. I just don't really know if
Is that one your mom did, or just one
yeah,
that you got?
that my mom did. My mom did it several oil paintings. She took some classes and but she also took watercolor classes. She did a few acrylics, but mostly watercolor. Um, she just kind of switched from one medium to another, throughout.
Mom started with oil and then just did watercolors for years. So we've got tons of her art in the house, and she's had prints made and had
Yeah.
stationery,
Mom did some stationery of some pen and ink birds that she did.
Okay.
That's neat. She did ceramics when ceramics were a thing in the 70s.
I did all that stuff in high school, and then I took a crafts class in junior college, and we did batik, and we did weaving,
Neat.
and did some other things, and so I've forgotten how many different projects we did, but so some of it I had never done before, so that was nice. So many of those projects are long gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so cork all done.
Ooh, look at that. Are you done?
Yeah.
Wow.
So one thing I had fun with at Christmas was I take these just plain 4-inch or 3-inch styrofoam balls, and then I got the used Christmas lights, all different colors, and just glued them in pushed them into the foam, and then since the foam is not necessarily attractive, I got a small, like 1/2 inch trim, Christmas trim, just the shiny,
Oh yeah, like garland.
trim, and then just kind of wove it through, and
Uh-huh.
it looked really cool.
Ooh,
So,
cool.
anyway,
Very
so
comic.
just these are just fun to sit on a bookshelf or a stack of books and look very, very cool. And so,
Yeah, it
sure,
adds
that's a
some
future
interest.
giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, well, I'm going to go put this
Cool.
somewhere safe.
Nice. Yeah, Kathy, changing the painting into a Halloween theme. Yeah, adding some. Those are so fun. I sometimes watch the people that paint those. They make like little TikTok videos or Instagram videos, like real artists is what I'm talking about, where they change it into like Bob's Burgers theme and paint in those characters into the like a Western theme. It's pretty cool. Maddie recently bought a little painting that somebody had painted little ghosts in. Like it was like a, what was it? It was like a, the scene was a cafe, like an outdoor cafe, like a French scene. And they painted little ghosts in the chairs and just made it kind of whimsical. I think that takes so much. It takes a creative eye that I'm not sure I have, but I might give it a try on a smaller scale, not a giant painting. I don't know, that would be daunting. I might try something like that. I think that's a neat idea. You're back to the stamps.
Yep.
Nice. It's done. As done as I'm gonna make it because it's making such a mess here. Such a mess.
So besides naming Munga Munga, my mom's mom was Lady.
Lainey?
Lady.
Lady. Oh, like lady.
There's a man and there's a lady, so she was Lady.
Oh, okay.
So, and then my mom's dad's third wife was Tutu,
Oh.
which I guess in Hawaiian is grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Where that came from, I don't know. So,
Uh-huh.
there's not a great story behind it, darn it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Anne decided that she wanted to be known as Nona.
Oh,
because
you know it's Italian.
Yeah, but that's what the girls know her as, Nona.
Of course.
We would refer to her as Nona. She would
ATD,
sign,
PhD. Yep.
yeah, she would sign her cards like that.
She would send a Nona or
she'd sign it Ann/mom/Nona. Or depending on who it was to. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was always great about sending cards.
Yeah, she is. She sends good cards.
Yeah.
And we have I don't know if I told you, we have a friend, actually someone from David's high school class who he grew up with in this neighborhood, and her family's Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And so she went to school in Italy for a while. And anyway, so she's had a couple of different Italian restaurants. So she sold her last one and then decided to open up a wine bar / deli market.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's not a full restaurant, but you can go and get, stuff that they make. And or they have like a deli case where you can just get stuff to take home.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. People like that, having it prepped and you can just grab it and
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's got a great reputation. So it opened, like soft opening around the holidays. So we went there for my birthday and got Anne a bunch of stuff for Christmas. So kinds of stuff that she would enjoy cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about her latest fiasco?
You said something about pizza upside down.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
I think that's, what a mess.
I know, especially the pizzas I eat. So, and I don't know if it was something that she made or if it was a pre-bought thing, but anyway. Waste of a good pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
I have a hard enough time taking care of myself right now as it is, let alone, in 30 years from now and blind.
Right.
That I just don't know how she does it.
Well, I heard from Jill this morning. She and I play Words with Friends online. And so apparently she's got rheumatoid arthritis really badly now, but she's got some good meds to deal with the pain.
Mm-hmm.
But it came on pretty suddenly for her.
Oh, it's a shame.
It is.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
she's doing all right.
Good.
She's got John and his family nearby. And then Skip and his wife moved to Utah a couple of years ago.
Oh.
I don't know if he's retired or what. He worked for some gaming company.
Oh.
And I know next to nothing about all that stuff. So
Me too. Yeah.
now my brother Tom and his kids, they have been doing video games and stuff for ages, and it's all just I'm so uninterested I can't even begin to tell you.
Yeah. I'm not into the games either.
With all those, play duel with other people like Xbox and all
Yeah.
that.
You got an itch, Cody. Are you itching? You were napping for a while. I heard you twitching and barking in your sleep. He's just about a year old. He's a young guy. And his brother Loki is an older guy. They got a puppy when they had an older pup.
That's what a lot of people my neighbors are doing. Yeah, makes sense.
And
You
now
gotta have a backup dog.
now Loki.
Well, that's like we had our backup cat, and Tang went before Pookie.
Dang. I want him to come back.
I know. I miss his little snoring, and he gave me little squeezes, and
Yeah.
he's a funny cat.
Yeah. How you doing?
I got a lot of pictures of him and videos, so
Yeah.
I have memories.
I lost my kitty Macy last year. She probably was sick for a while. We didn't know it, one of those things.
Yeah.
Once we found out there was a mass on her liver, she didn't have very much time left. And
No.
we did some steroids and had about a week. And still miss her so much. I have so many pictures. She was 14 and was not ready. It's not ready to say goodbye. But her sister's Chuck, who Bridget has at her house. So Chuck's still doing well, I guess.
Good.
But we really thought Macy was going to live forever because she was this tiny little thing that just bossed everybody around, and I just thought she was invincible. But it's just so sad. Things can pop up.
Yeah. No rhyme or reason.
John says, I might twitch and bark in my sleep too. Yeah, you probably do. Yeah. And Tamara says, my husband definitely twitches and talks in his sleep. Hi, Terry. How are you? You're just looking at my lap here right now. Not very interesting. Let me switch cameras as I'm talking. I'm dog sitting at somebody's house and I don't have the best setup right now. So let's see how that looks. Just doing what I can with what I have. Oh, yeah, watch the replay. I don't even have makeup on or even my hair done or anything. I forgot everything. I forgot my nose spray. Luckily, I'm not too stuffy at the moment, but just forgot everything. What else? Forgot my moisturizer. But it was just one night, so I didn't need it.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, there's just one night tonight. Or last night.
Got it.
Yeah. Just, and the dog's found a bone, so he's gonna chomp on the bone. And himself. He got a little itch.
Hmm.
Do you want to say hi? Let's see if we can swivel around. Let's see. Hey, can you say hi? There you are.
So which one's that?
This one's Bodie. He's the chocolate lab. He's a
Got it.
young guy. What are you doing? Your teeth are so white. That's how we know you're very young. Yes. Trying to nibble on me. Yeah, this time last year he was not this chill. Definitely running around.
Much more puppyish, huh?
Yeah, I'm glad he's calmed down. And then Loki's over here. He's in a hard spot to show. He likes to lay on the bare floor. He gets really hot easily. Even though
Isn't that funny?
it's not very hot.
They're so different.
Yeah.
Well, I have 3 grand dogs.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm. So Katie has 2 Weimaraners.
Oh, I
And-
love them.
And so she's got Sadie and Murphy. And then Emily has a golden lab, yellow lab. And that's Bailey. So
Mhm.
whitish, yellowish. And so they all get along.
Nice.
But when Katie first married, she got a cat, Jack. And Jack, when we were looking for cats, because I was living there then, we went to some pet store, promotion thing,
Mhm.
and PetSmart or something. And this cat goes flying. The cat goes flying out of the cage and just jumps to her neck and just won't let go. And it's like, take me home, take me home. She looked at all these other kittens, but Jack was it. And so Jack was just, and he would do that with me. And he was the most affectionate cat I've ever seen. And Jack took off or something got him. But he liked bringing lizards. And in Florida, there's lots of lizards. And Katie had this brown shag rug under her kitchen table, and the dead lizards would find their way into the shag, and you'd put your feet under there. It's like, that doesn't feel like carpet. And it was just some remains of the day.
Oh, no.
And so finally the rug had to go.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to come here? Do you want to come up on the couch with me? Okay. Yeah, lizards. Ugh. I don't know how I would be living there, if I would get used to that.
The lizards, I don't mind. It was the palmetto bugs and the cockroaches drove me crazy. That and the humidity, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure I know what palmetto bugs look like.
Palmetto bugs are just big, huge cockroaches. So about, 1.5 to 2 inches. And they fly at you instead of away from you. And they multiply like crazy. Cats like to bat them around on the floor.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
when they get paper thin, literally, and so they can go anywhere. And you have to have a spray service if you live there, because otherwise you're bombarded with all kinds of nasty bugs. And
Oh, no.
I really have to think about, do I really want to retire there, or should I go to North Carolina or somewhere else instead?
Right.
I've got time to figure that out.
They have a foul, musky odor. Ugh. I'm looking them up. I had to see for myself. They look like. Palmetto bugs. They're
No, they're-
winged, but they can rarely fly, it says.
No, they just, when they fly, they want to fly at you. I was on the phone with my mom. I was in Florida. She was in California. And I had a long tiered denim skirt on. One flew under my skirt. I'm on the phone with my mom.
Oh my God.
And I'm trying to shake this thing out, trying to get a broom, trying to kill it. It would not die. It took me must have been 15 minutes while I'm on the phone with mom.
Oh no.
Trying to kill this thing. I finally got it, but boy, I got quick with a shoe or a flip flop, whatever I had around. And you don't give it any time to think. You just grab and whack.
Yeah, grab and whack.
Oh my gosh. And we had a problem when I was living in Sacramento. We had the drought. So I moved there in 2015. And 2016, I got a job with Sears Home Improvement. And my apartment and Sears itself, this building, which was across town, we were all getting bombarded by these Oriental cockroaches because of the drought. The city wasn't flushing the sewer systems, and so these cockroaches were just multiplying like crazy. Well, they started coming up into your drain, your sink drains and your tub drains and stuff.
Mhm.
I would wake up and I'd have a dozen of them in my apartment. And I
Oh,
was at the store, and the bug spray guy assured me that, oh no, this is, they're coming under your door. They're not coming up the drain. And like the next day, I'm brushing my teeth, and here come these little feelers and stuff out of the drain.
Oh,
So out of here.
gross.
Yeah, it was just awful.
So is that what drove you out of Sacramento then?
No, I lost my job and moved back in with
Oh.
mom and dad.
Oh, yeah. Well, I lived in Sacramento when I was little, when my dad worked for the state. So like 1971 to like 1976.
Okay.
And he got laid off from Caltrans, and then Washington State Transportation hired him.
Wow.
70. And then we moved up here. No barking. No barking. Please. I know you see somebody or hear something, but no. I'm gonna mute. Ah. All right. They've calmed down finally.
Okay.
Are you guys okay? Everything good? You didn't eat your food that I put out earlier. What's up with that?
Yeah, what kind of a dog doesn't eat?
Yeah.
Usually they're just scarfing.
Separation anxiety, nervous dogs. That's what. Gosh, you miss your mommy. Yeah, we'll go out for a walk pretty soon. Okay, we'll go for a walk pretty soon. We'll come up. We'll come up and say hi. Come here, Bodie. Come here. Jump. Come here. Jump. Oh. I'm gonna sit over there. No, we don't want to look at that. We don't want to look at the licking. The nervous licking. Oh, here you are. You're so cute. You're so cute. Bodie. Such a big baby. You're such a baby. Yes, this is my life. He is a sweet dog. He's very chill. I mean, I've watched the other black labs, so I kind of figured he would be, but
Is this your first time hanging out with them, or have you?
no, I've been with him for a while, off and on over the last couple of years. I was watching Loki before Bodhi, the puppy, came into the picture, and I was I was thinking, oh, I don't know if I can handle a puppy, but it worked out. Didn't it? It worked out. You're pretty easy. You're pretty easy. Is that your foot? Oh, Terry said earlier that she had 2 black labs. Sadly, they're both gone now. Yeah, I really like black labs. I think they're my favorite labs, actually.
My first dog was a black lab.
Yeah. We had a rescue when the girls were little named Jackson, and he was, we think, because he was a rescue, we don't know for sure, but we think he was a black lab Great Dane mix.
Oh,
He
wow.
had the temperament of a black lab and the body of a Great Dane.
Whoa. And probably the appetite of a horse.
Yeah. But he was kind of a nervous dog, so he didn't really put on weight like a black lab would do.
Sure.
He was more of a Great Dane build, like a small Great Dane, but he was the sweetest. And of course, he thought he was a lap dog, so he'd be up on your lap. And he was a really fun dog for us to have as a family. And then Maddie wanted a pug really bad. I tried to find a rescue, but didn't. So I ended up buying a one from a breeder.
Whoa.
And he was a great dog. Pee-wee, his name was Pee-wee for Pee-wee Herman. I think.
And how long did you have Pee-wee? Quite a while, didn't you?
I think Tom came up with that one. Maddie and Tom named him. Yeah, he was 14. Before his kidneys and things started shutting down.
Yeah.
But he had. He might have lived longer, but and this happens with bred dogs quite often. We found out only after he was sick and dying that his liver was not ever connected. He had a liver, but it just was not connected to the system.
Oh, how bizarre.
So that usually they find that out when they're younger and they don't grow as much. We never found out because he was normal size. We didn't have any indication that something.
I never heard of that. Wow.
So because of that, then his kidneys went sooner than they would have because they took all the load.
Yeah.
So, but he was a great dog. Maddie loved him. We all loved him. He and Jackson got along pretty well. Very well, actually. And then I started dog sitting when I still had both of them. Started dog sitting when I was working full time as an esthetician.
Really?
I did, yeah, just did part-time Rover. Started doing Rover like evenings and weekends, and then my dogs passed, and I kept doing some dog sitting through the pandemic a little bit. You know, for a while nobody was going anywhere, but then after about a year it picked up again. And then I kind of made it my whole thing because I wasn't working as an esthetician anymore. And then taking care of, mom and dad and stuff. So
Right.
I was able to keep dog sitting and do that. And now I'm just sort of reevaluating everything again.
Ah, stuff to keep you awake at night.
Yeah. I'm lucky that I can kind of live off my savings. I have John, who is a great partner, and we share the expenses of the house. And but I probably need to be doing something at some point. I just don't know what yet.
Well,
Floaty's trying to play tug with me with this toy. New season of life, exactly. Yes.
exactly.
I feel like I've had a lot of different seasons of life that have lasted a couple years since 2018, pretty much.
Yeah.
Had a lot of different things.
You have been through pretty much everything.
A lot of stuff. Oh, you want? You have really chewed up this toy. I was going to show them, but you're not letting me. Yeah, Tamara, you can relate. And that's the thing, too, that I guess I didn't realize when I was younger. Maybe a lot of us don't. But really, life, and you've gone through a lot too, Julie, different locations and places and jobs. And
Oh, I've moved over 50 times.
yeah, a ton of times. That sometimes that is what life is.
Yeah, I didn't think that I was born under the star that said you're going to move a lot, but apparently I was.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think my projects for the day are done.
All right.
I'll wrap it up, but thank you
Wrap it
for
up too.
dropping the invitation off, and
Oh,
we will
yeah.
see you
Okay.
next time.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Julie.
Sure. All right. Take care.
Nice chatting. See you next week.
All righty. Bye.
Say goodbye to everybody out there. I know moving is so much, right? It's a lot, but I guess maybe I'm downsizing as I go here each time, so I'll have less and less each time I have to move. But thanks, Terry. You too. Good to see you all in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Next week I should be home, back in better lighting. So hope to see you all there. Take care. Bye.